is the governor going to come speak to us as well?
He is not. He has a scheduling conflict right now at 2 o'clock, so he's
Can you answer a
unable.
couple questions?
Sure.
Assume the chair.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Was the statement by the governor this morning on the radio show, was this a planned appearance, planned on your part? That there was a decision made ahead of time to go on the air and make this statement?
The governor has made it clear to the governor's office his position on this, and we have related staff. And yes, I did book that interview.
The governor mentioned in the interview today that he had unveiled this last week at some point and it was ignored.
You know, what he had conversations with staff and with legislators.
So
Those were
Democratic
internal conversations.
leaders as well?
I'll have to look into that for you, who it was specifically, but legislators
Okay.
who relayed that message.
And why was it, I guess two questions. First, is it the governor's position that this issue does not need the full public hearing and legislative process?
Absolutely not. He wants the public process to move forward. The concern here is that we have other bills that are being fast-tracked, like Senator Hobbins' bill, which allows drinking on Sundays at 6 a.m. at bars, and that bill is very close to getting to the governor's desk. So you've got, you know, it looks like they're fast-tracking certain bills and delaying others. This bill, the governor's bill, it's been 45 days since we presented it. And, for example, Senator Hobbins' bill, it's been 23 days. So clearly, Democrats can move quickly when they want to. And this is a bill that the governor feels will benefit the entire state of Maine. And we need to move forward on it. And we need to start that public process. But waiting another 2 weeks is not particularly helpful.
Is there, you mentioned the time difference between Senator Hobbins' bill and this hospital proposal, and I mean, aren't they a little bit different in their complexity?
True. The governor's bill, however. But our bill, we presented it on January 15th with all of the details, a very comprehensive plan. You saw the media packet we gave out. That's been available to legislators. Jerry Reed has done multiple interviews with, not interviews rather, interviews with the media, but presentations to legislators, including Senator Whitall a couple days ago. And we've been very open to getting these details out in front of anybody willing to listen.
Adrienne, has the governor reached out to the Democratic majority leadership to say, look, come on down to my office, I want to talk about this? That hasn't happened yet? Or?
Not the governor specifically, but his staff absolutely, and like I said, Jerry Reed. He's been very vocal, and you know, we've been very open, had open line of communication with all legislators about this. I mean, we want this to be a transparent process, and we want people to understand what our bill does. I mean, that's the bottom line. We want this to move forward so we can inject $700 million into Maine's economy, not only you know, discontinue the layoffs at hospitals, but get some bonds out there as well.
Today when the House and Senate Republican leaders came out to speak to us, they said they were not, they weren't clear on the governor's statement that he meant any bill. And they wanted to make sure that before they issued any statement about whether that was a good idea or not, they wanted to check with him. But can you clarify, just for the sake of the media and the rest of us, what the governor said this morning was any bill, right? Any bill that comes to his desk is going to get vetoed?
He will take a look at every bill that comes to his desk, and he'll make that decision. What he did say this morning is that he would veto anything that came across his desk.
Including bills that he may have.
He did indicate that, yes.
Is he concerned that that would put some important major bills at risk, given that there's a 2/3 majority needed to override with it?
8 votes.
Right. Well, I mean, he said what he said, and we'll have to see when a bill reaches his desk.
Is he planning to meet with the Democratic leadership today, like he said he would this morning?
Yes.
What time is that meeting?
I'm not sure. I know he's behind now because he's about an hour behind, so late this afternoon.
Has
Has he had a chance to look at Senator Goodall's bill, and if so, what are his issues with it, if any?
Well, staff has had a chance to look at Senator Goodall's bill, and the governor has, I believe, been briefed somewhat on it. But, Senator Goodall's bill is very vastly different than the governor's. It does not address the hospital debt. And the governor's bill is comprehensive. It tackles the hospital debt issue, which we need to address, and we need to address it quickly. We've got a federal match rate that's declining, and that just means that main taxpayers are going to have to pay more to pay off that debt in the long run if we don't do something quickly. So it not only addresses that, but it puts money into clean water initiatives, it puts money into transportation projects, and it allows general obligations to move forward. And the governor will make good on that promise. But he has always said that hospital debt needs to be paid off before we accrue any more debt.
What about the education? What about the debt there? I mean, they even funded that to 55 and got it out.
That's not a debt. I mean, that hasn't been paid for since it was put into law.
So what would you call it?
But what this administration has done is increased funding for education, and we did so in 2011 by $63 million, and now we're level funding it. So, we are an administration, and the governor has been very committed to education dollars and keeping those as level as possible. And like I said, he did in fact increase education funding, so that argument just doesn't stand.
Were you aware that when the governor, you said you booked this appearance this morning, were you aware that he was going to say what he said? I mean, you know what I mean? Because
He had articulated it.
he said
Yes.
beforehand that I'm going to say,
He had articulated this to staff, yes.
and staff was okay with it.
He had articulated it with staff. We're not going to get into that, he said, she said, internal
This
conversation.
whole day is he said, she said. This whole day. Just an observation, but.
I guess I'm not getting what you're getting at. I mean, the governor had said.
Well, I mean, is this
his
designed?
message
I mean,
yesterday.
to get on the radio and say it not once but twice today. Is this? I mean, clearly he wants this to happen, but is this another way of exerting political pressure? And I mean, is this?
Well, I mean, we've been accused of playing Washington-style politics, and what I see or what the governor sees from upstairs is, some delay tactics, and that I would say is more like Washington than moving forward on a bill that could benefit the entire state of Maine.
Can you talk at all about how this bill developed? Was this a personal idea of the governor's? Was it something that his staff recommended? Just curious.
This is something the governor has thought about for 2 years. And we knew this contract was coming up, and it was a culmination of work among staff members. So the governor had a lot of involvement in this, absolutely.
If this revenue were to be used to make bond payments, the revenue from the liquor contract were to be used to help pay the bond payments, because our understanding of the governor's plan would.
The general obligation bonds,
Yes.
$105 million.
So
Those
would,
move forward.
so those bonds would have to go back out to the Maine people, right? Is that correct?
No, they've already been authorized.
No, I'm talking about the idea that we'll use a bond to pay off the hospitals. That bond's gonna have to be authorized too, right?
It'd be a revenue.
No,
The
that's a
revenue.
dedicated revenue source. We would have that revenue coming in. It's dedicated,
But that revenue doesn't start coming in until 2014, right?
correct.
So it's just the financing of that. How fast are hospitals actually gonna get their money?
Well, we need the legislature to move on this bill, and then we can move forward.
It would be after 2014.
If they did it today, though, do you know how quickly the hospitals would get paid?
We've been saying in a matter of months if we can get the legislature to act.
So you and I went back and forth on the phone about this morning. So it sounds like that the bond would be sold, if you will, and the debt incurred before the new liquor contract took effect, so before the revenue stream began to pay it back.
That is correct, but you're looking at a very short time period to pay that bond off, because we know we have a dedicated source coming in.
What would that be?
Dedicated source.
How long would that be? That short time to, would that be 5 years or 10 years?
Yeah, we need the legislature to move forward before we can get into those details.
And you don't know how much of, what the debt service on that bond would be, right, in terms of, would that eat, I mean, how much of the liquor revenue would that eat up? Do we know? We don't know.
I'll get back to you on that,
Okay.
AJ. I don't know right off the top of my head. Okay. Good. Anybody can talk